So yesterday we had the massive announcement that Helluva Boss is coming to Amazon Prime Video and that it has been crossovers in the works. I made a video all about this, but since the announcement there's been a lot of confusion from fans. On one hand, people have been hyped about the news, while others are a bit skeptical and think it's a bad thing. Today we had the second day of Level Up Expo and Viv and the team revealed some more info that is worth talking about. Understandably, it's a big change that's quite complicated, so I'll go through the announcement for those who haven't seen it yet, discuss the reception and aftermath, and also some statements made by team members that should clarify things. I'll also give my own opinions towards the end as well. I hope you enjoy. So in the Helluverse announcement, we found out that Helluva Boss is being picked up by Amazon to appear on their Amazon Prime Video service. Hazbin Hotel was already on there, so Helluva is joining it. In the video we found out that Viv is still maintaining full control, so there won't be any big changes. Amazon will be providing additional funding for the series as well. The main change, however, is that Helluva Boss will be airing first on Prime. So new episodes will appear on Prime Video first, and then a month or so later it'll be available for free on YouTube like before. At the end of the video we see various characters from both shows appearing, meaning that now a crossover can officially happen between both shows. Over on Blue Sky, Vivzy said that she still owns Helluva Boss and that it's a big step forward for creators and their projects. Over on Instagram, Morgana Ignis said that nothing will change with the merch and things are only going to get bigger and better. On TikTok, Sam Haft said that Helluva is going to be animated exactly the same quality by the exact same people, just some of the budget will be paid by Prime instead of purely merch. He also said that Season 3 of Helluva has been written well over a year before this deal happened and isn't changing. This leads us to Day 2 of Level Up. We got the new sneak peek for the next Helluva Boss short releasing in June and some more clarification about the deal. They've said that one of the best things about it is that past and future episodes will no longer be censored on Prime. I'll roll a short clip.
And I totally forgot to mention that, yeah, when you guys get the series on Amazon, it'll be totally uncensored. So you'll finally get to hear it. And that goes for the future. Like, it means that when it comes to certain kinds of scenes or just anything, you know, just whatever it is, like, we don't have to worry about that as much. We can't go, oh, how do we like make this much less explicitly horny, because YouTube would never allow that. We don't have to worry about that anymore.
With past episodes, things were bleeped out or censored, a great example being Stolas' iconic line during the pilot. From now on, once they're on Prime, they won't be censored, which is pretty big considering how strict YouTube is. This means future episodes could be raunchier with more sex jokes, swears, and everything else. A little later in the panel, they confirmed that there will be a sex scene, which I'll also play a clip of.
And I'll switch it up a bit. I'm not looking forward to any swear words, but I am looking forward to the world's first animated full penetration scene.
There's a couple things we didn't manage to get clarification over, like whether or not the release of episodes will be impacted. Fans are used to seeing episodes release when they're ready on YouTube. However, with this change, there's a chance that episodes could release grouped together on Prime. This means that fans will have to consume a lot of content at once and there'll be less time for theory crafting. So that's all of the announcements surrounding the deal. Let's move on to discuss the aftermath. So this announcement was absolutely huge. Like I described earlier, a lot of fans were hyped by the news. However, there was a lot of backlash over it. I'll go through a couple examples. Here's a tweet saying, another $20 trillion to VivzyPop instead of the Invincible animation team, with nearly 70,000 likes. The joke here is that Invincible, another show on Amazon Prime, has animation that varies wildly in quality. There was a lot of anger that Hazbin and Helluva are coming to Amazon, while Invincible is stuck with dodgy animation. Here's a tweet with 75k likes saying that neither Helluva Boss nor Hazbin Hotel are indie anymore. Here's one with 10k likes saying that Hazbin Hotel is an industry plant getting millions of dollars while Invincible gets nothing. Over on Reddit, people had some more criticisms. Here's a fan worried about how Helluva Boss coming to Prime will impact the views on YouTube, citing a similar example being when The Digital Circus came to Netflix and there was an immediate drop in YouTube views for the series. One fan discusses how Helluva going to Prime is a massive betrayal, and just more fans worried about the news, especially the fact that episodes are a month behind on YouTube. So with the aftermath covered, let's get into some of my personal thoughts and I'll try and weigh up the pros and cons of the news. So the best way to look at this is like a trade offer. On one hand, we're getting a lot of things, but on the other there's a couple cons. I'll go through each. So let's discuss the good first. The show is appearing on another platform, meaning more potential eyes on the show, new fandom members and whatever else. Additional funding for the team, so perhaps better animation, crossovers between both shows, There will be official dubs on Amazon, so international fans won't have to wait days or weeks for a fan dub in their own language. More merch. Past and present episodes will be completely uncensored. Due to the uncensoring, the team will be able to heavily lean into the more edgy comedy that it's attempting, but is severely limited to due to YouTube's guidelines. Linked in with a crossover point, we could get additional shorts or whatever else, but we haven't heard any news about that yet. Now let's discuss the cons. The first and biggest is that you need Amazon Prime to watch it the day it comes out. Fans who don't have Prime, can't afford it, or live in a country that doesn't have Prime will have to wait a month and watch it for free on YouTube later. Streaming platforms in general are pretty controversial. Amazon itself is very controversial, so understandably fans might not want to support Amazon by watching the show on their platform. YouTube views could potentially decrease on the episodes themselves. This is down to personal preference, but some people are saying that Helluva is no longer indie since it's partly funded by Amazon. The fandom could split since it'll be shown on 2 platforms instead of just one. Spoilers will also take center focus. Since the show will be released earlier on Prime, it'll leave a bunch of people just uploading clips, which may put people off watching if they've already seen an episode in multiple parts, either on shorts, clips, or TikToks. So that's the main pros and cons listed. Lastly, I'll get into my concluding thoughts. Personally, I think the deal is a huge win both for the Helluverse and for animation in general. It will depend on what you think, but in my eyes, if I weigh up the pros and cons, I think it's a massive win. A lot of fans will already have Prime subscriptions since they watched Season 1 of Has-Been on Prime already, so it's not too complicated of a process. For me, if I look at everything we gain and what we lose, it's a fair trade. If Helluva comes to YouTube a month late, and in return we get a crossover with Has-Been, I would take that deal any day of the week. A crossover is something fans have been asking for since 2019 and we're finally getting it. We also have all the other potential benefits like better dubbing, more merchandise, and extra pay for the animators. If you really think about it, a deal was sort of inevitable anyway. Has-Been and Helluva are in a shared universe, so they were going to clash at some point. At least now we can finally get things like Lucifer meeting the rest of the Sins, or finding out what the Helluva cast are up to while Has-Been is occurring. On the topic of spoilers, again I can understand why fans might be annoyed about spoilers, but it's 2025. If you open any social media platform after the release of something, you will get spoiled. Muting hashtags, turning off notifications, and being careful for a month is probably the only option for people who don't want spoiled. Fans who are waiting could also follow along by watching their favourite reactors or YouTubers who are reviewing the series, so they can see what happens in the episodes and then watch it themselves once it's on YouTube for free. The Helluva Boss subreddit at the minute is completely torn on this, with people arguing for both sides, and it's a bit messy. Unrelated, but I do hope that since Helluva has been picked up, that we get a physical release of a Helluva DVD at some point. It would be a nice collectible for fans, and perhaps a way for fans to host watch parties with their friends together. So that's about everything covered in regards to the Amazon deal with Helluva Boss. I'm interested to hear your opinions in the comment section down below. Are you a fan of the news? Or are you more skeptical? Leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching.